Yep, that's you. You heard footsteps and thought, I've got this. You didn't. Now you might lose it all. But here's the thing, it wasn't your aim that failed you, it was your angle. Too many bases lack proper roof retakes. All the effort goes into designing a shooting floor, but then once it comes to accessing your roof, you just shrug and slap a door somewhere. Or even worse, a ladder hatch. But you need a retake. Think of it like this. When you open a door, let's use a single door for example, you need to be close to this door. This means that the potential space that a raider could occupy is massive. When you open the door, you must spot the raider, aim, and then shoot. But now take the raider's perspective. They're mostly going to be sitting back away from the door, as this gives them the biggest advantage. Because they are far away from this door, the potential space that they need to aim at is very small, and they can even pre-aim at your head. When the door opens, they are ready to shoot before you have even spotted where they are. It's an impossible fight to take if the raider is at all competent. In this video, I'll show you two versions of a roof retake module that can fit into most bases. This retake module has a one-way peek that guarantees you'll win a gunfight. I've used the 3-triangle version of the module in my most popular base, the Faraday, and the 4-triangle version in my most recent base, the Nother. So if you want to see how these modules fit into a full base, go check those videos out. So let's get right into showing off the modules. This module right here is the 3-triangle module. It's got better mobility and 2 Patrico peaks on the sides, which are fantastic peaks to put in any base. And then in the middle, we have what used to be a Brutalist peak, but since the force wipe in February is going to eliminate this peak, I am switching away from those and using these vertical embrasure peaks until I find something better to replace that. Here we get our one-way retake onto roof, and then above the one-way we have spot for barrel storage, and so this is the 3-triangle module. Moving on to the 4-triangle module, we only have one entrance to this module because we need to float this window over the roof. What that allows us to do is have 2 what used to be Brutalist peaks and now are vertical embrasure peaks. I still really enjoy these, but it lets us have 2 of those. You can stick a bed here, and then we have our same one-way retake, but this one is angled slightly more towards the center of the roof, and so you get better coverage with the 4-triangle module than the 3-triangle module. And we have the same spot for a box, and then you can put a shotgun trap right here and it won't affect your mobility. And raiders who hop down your doorway will get a nasty surprise. So what do you need to build one of these? Well, you need any part of your roof or shooting floor to have this hexagon footprint. If you have this hexagon footprint, you can fit both of these modules. When deciding between the modules, do you need the mobility of the 3-triangle module, or can you afford the lack of mobility in the 4-triangle module for better angles onto your roof? And so when you want to build this, let's start with the 3-triangle module. We start with 3 half walls with windows on top. And then here we're going to place our roofs. If you want to fit an auto turret into this module, place these half walls in this floor, and then you'll be able to fit an auto turret on top of the module right here, right where the roofs are. It doesn't have the best angle because you'll have a window blocking half of its view, but you can fit an auto turret there. And then decide where you want your doors. They can go on any of these 3 spots. And then here we want to put up our window that makes up the one-way peak. We just add our triangle roof in. Then here I go with a full wall, close this up with a half wall, and then add half walls to close off the ceiling. I go with a single door. You can use a double door. And then when you place your embrasure, you just want to make sure that it is facing outwards rather than inwards, it makes the peak a little bit more one way. And then coming out to set up the Petricos, it's nice and easy to set up these Petricos because the half wall below the window offsets it so that you don't have to do any funky stuff. You can go with either a floor or a floor frame. The floor frame is a little bit thicker of a model, but doesn't let you put storage above. If you go with the full floor, you can use half walls and then close it in, and now you have a spot for more storage. Alternatively, if you use this floor frame, you can go with these low walls and get a little bit tighter of a peak. If the terrain is not on your side, as in if raiders could build a raid base looking down, you might want to go with half walls and close this in anyways, because that will keep you safer from raid bases. And you just do the exact same on the other side. And that's the 3 triangle module. The 4 triangle module is going to be much of the same. I'm gonna go straight to build grade to save some time. And so with the 4 triangle module, this one's a little bit weirder since we need to float this window frame to put the roof underneath. You need to make sure that you have the connecting walls on either side. And so once you place these walls, you can place your frame. I full wall that in. I put my 2 half walls. I full wall that in as well. And then on these half walls, I put windows. I'm going to add the roofs in. So we connect like this. That gives us our 2 peaks. And then for the exit, we fill in our triangles as we did before. Same with this wall, half wall, and close this all up. And so the only big difference is you have less mobility in and out of this module. If you're in a crowded shooting floor and you need more mobility, you could use both of these as doorways. But if you close this off, you can then set this up as a bedroom, which is what I did in my build, the Nother. And once again here, we just want to face that embrasure away to make sure we get that one-way angle. That's it. If these modules snag you a kill, you owe me a sub. Build smart, shoot first, and see you next time.